according to the Democrats, what's going on here is a straightforward attack on democracy. Let me give you some samples of Democratic discourse. James Tallarico: my Democratic colleagues and I just left the state of Texas to break quorum and stop Trump's redistricting power grab. Trump is trying to rig the midterm elections right before our eyes, but first he'll have to come through us. Same rhetoric from Kathy Hochul in New York, from Newsom in California. Here's Hakeem Jeffries. Republicans are afraid to face voters in a free and fair election. That's the reason the extremists want to gerrymander the Texas congressional map. Well, who are these extremists? We're talking about Dustin Burrows, who is the moderate head of the Texas House of Representatives. Burrows got into office with Democratic votes, in fact, with a majority of Democratic votes. So is this an extremist who, and yet Burrows is the one who's pushing this redistricting in Texas. Here's a commentator on social media. The core principle of democracy is you can't get to 51% and then change the rules so you win every election forever. Well, the key point here, though, is that this is what Democrats do. Republicans do it too, but there's nothing unique about Republicans doing it. This is gerrymandering. I saw that Stephen King this morning put out basically the usual kind of very unself-conscious type of rant where he goes, and this is an attack on democracy. And I go, well, why don't you explain to us why it's so different in Maryland or in California or in Illinois? Because they have done gerrymandering. They have all these very weird salamander-shaped districts. That's, by the way, where the name gerrymandering comes from. It goes back really to the 19th century, when a governor in Massachusetts named Gerry, Elbridge Gerry, would draw these weird districts, and they combined his name with salamander-shaped districts, and you've got gerrymandering. So you've got Illinois doing redistricting, and Maryland is. So apparently Stephen King is now going to tell us, well, that was okay. That was not an attack on democracy. That's actually saving democracy. That's protecting democracy. Look, let's be kind of bare-knuckled about this and recognize that although democracy is based on a certain type of neutral assumption, one man, one vote, we've got a system of House of Representatives and Senate. The truth of it is, states have a lot of power in drawing these districts. It can be done at the state and local level. And even the Supreme Court has said it's not a judicial matter, it's a political matter. Now, it's true that if you go too far, then state courts can intervene and stop you from doing it. So if Texas passes redistricting, it will be challenged in the state courts. But it's not an attack on democracy. In fact, it's an exercise of democracy. Other states do it, and so Republicans are really doing it too. The real difference between the Democrats and the Republicans has been a difference of will. And that is the Democrats are completely willing and unscrupulous in using these mechanisms to gain power. It's not that they will flout the democratic process, although they'll cheat and do things like that when they need to. But usually what they're doing is they are pushing the process to its limit. So, for example, if you have absentee ballots, they will calculate whether more Republicans or Democrats are likely to use them. If you have a system where somebody opens up the ballot and there are markings on the ballot and you're not clear who the vote is for, or both boxes appear to be checked, the Democrats will push to make sure they have adjudicators that are going to decide the issue their way. So they're perfectly willing to kind of monkey with the democratic process, even at the micro level, to eke out whatever advantage they can for themselves. Now, the Texas Democrats they went to Chicago and hung out with Governor Pritzker over there and doing all kinds of social media videos that are now all out there, like we're in Chicago, we're hiding out. You almost get the idea. You remember under slavery, you'd have these people who would be in Chicago, and they'd be like, we're riding the Underground Railroad, we're bringing slaves from the South to freedom. And of course, in the 19th century, coming north meant coming really through Chicago. If you think about it, Chicago is the closest city north of slavery. And so it was an important way station for the Underground Railroad. So I fully expect these Democrats from Texas to be riding the subway in Chicago, making videos, I'm on the Underground Railroad. In other words, creating an absurdly and unjustifiably heroic image of themselves as if they are somehow acting to prevent an assault on democracy, even though what we have here is nothing more than a pedestrian exercise of democracy. Hollywood continues with its antics, and in a time when Hollywood peddles moral confusion, cultural decay, we need an alternative, and that's Angel Studios. They're doing something truly remarkable, creating films that inspire and reflect our values. Their latest release, it's called Sketch. It's a prime example. Imagine Stranger Things meets Inside Out, but with virtue, imagination, and heart at the center. The story follows a young girl whose sketchbook falls into a mysterious pond, only to have her wild, colorful drawing spring to life. It's suspenseful, it's funny, it's deeply moving, it's entertainment with a moral compass. If you're a premium Angel Guild member, you already have 2 free tickets waiting for you for Sketch in theaters starting August 6th. If not, now is the time to join and take a stand for media that strengthens families instead of tearing them down. You'll also unlock Angel's entire streaming library, content that aligns with faith, freedom, and truth. Visit angel.com/Dinesh today. Become a part of the Angel Guild to receive 2 free tickets to Sketch in theaters August 6th. Go to angel.com/Dinesh.